So you don't need to use milk cow milk to do this. We just had 2% from the store, and we bought a couple extra cartons of it, and it was going to go bad. It was a couple days from its expiry date, and we hadn't used it yet. So rather than waste a gallon of milk, we've made it into cheese, and it's just a good way to use up milk or to preserve it that's not frozen, and it's fun and super easy. You could take it and add salt and pepper or dill or anything you want to it. It doesn't melt like store-bought cheddar or mozzarella. So if you're going to put it on a pizza or in lasagna, you might want to mix it with some cheddar or some mozzarella, and you'll never know that other stuff is in there. And it tastes really good on crackers, and it's mild and good in salads, and just good by itself. So there you go. So today we're going to make a ricotta. We've got a couple gallons of milk here. This is yesterday's milk. You can see it's whole milk. Cream line is right here. We're just going to dump it in there because we got tons of milk to use. This milk has not been pasteurized, but we're going to put it in the pot and we're going to cook it. So that'll in turn, it'll be hot enough that it'll be pasteurized by the time we're done cooking it. So. So we're going to cook it to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Pasteurization is 165 for 15 or 30 seconds. So we're going to have, the milk will be good and cooked by the time we get around to putting some vinegar into it. We're going to add some hot peppers to this. It's the first time we've done that. So I'm going to start getting those ready. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So we just clicked over to 165. That's our pasteurization temperature. And have a look at the milk here, just see kind of what it looks like at 165. It's steaming and starting to smell a little bit cooked. Now if we were going to drink this, we'd wait 15 seconds at 165, and then we would put it in hot jars and cool them down really quick and put them in the fridge, and that's just all there is to pasteurizing milk. You want to get it down as cold to fridge temperature as quickly as you can. The next main temperature is 180, which is what we like to heat it up to when we're making yogurt. So we're going to add some of the juice here. I'm going to run that through a tea strainer. Hopefully it doesn't curdle it. And we'll see what happens.
So you're not going to add the pepper seeds?
I'm going to add the pepper seeds after when we're milling it. It'll have curdled and we'll have it in the whey drained off of it at that point. I'm adding the juice right now so that it'll be right in the curd. It won't be just sitting there. I could add it when we have the curd in the colander later, but then it would have to soak for a while, and I think a lot of it would just drain off. So I'm going to add it now so it'll be right in the curd. So we just clicked over 190 there. Just going to shut the heat off. Vinegar, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, although that kind of tastes a little strong. The vinegar really doesn't add any taste to it, so don't be afraid to use white vinegar to do it. It keeps the flavor pretty plain. So I got about a half a cup here to start with. Now the trick is not to add too much, so we're just going to add a little at a time and stir it in, and we want to just add enough acid or lemon juice or whatever we're using to get it to curdle, and not too much more. If you get too strong a curd, it gets really dry and rubbery and not good. So just keep an eye on it. It'll happen really quickly when it happens. So just adding the vinegar. We might have to get a little bit more, but that's okay. Just add, at this point, about a tablespoon at a time and mix it in and see how it looks, and then another tablespoon and see how it looks. So we don't want the whey to be too clear, because that means, there we go, look at that. Just bingo bango. Perfect. That's what we want to see. The whey's still a little bit creamy. That's okay. It makes our ricotta creamy and not quite so dry. I think I'm going to stop there. The whey's a little bit yellow, and we're going to get ready to do the next step. So there's a ton of things you can do with the whey, but we're not going to save the whey. We're just going to ladle it off. It's a big pot and it's pretty hot, so get rid of some of the weight, makes it a little bit safer to use. Cheese. Just let it drain for a bit. I'm going to put it back in the hot pot so I can mix it up. 1, 2, 3, go. So they call this milling. We're going to put our hot pepper seeds in. 1.5, 2 teaspoons of salt. This is just non-iodized like pickling salt, but I've ground it up a little finer, just with a mortar and pestle. Still got a fair bit of whey in there. So we could just take that ricotta right now and put it in the fridge in a bowl and let it cool off. And it's ready to go the way it is, but I'd like to press this and make it into a cheese. Something that I can kind of keep in the freezer, and that's what the Salata part of the ricotta is. So the trick here is to get the cheese into the mold without any of the folds of the cheesecloth kind of getting in the way, because that'll cause a problem later on. So we try and keep the cheesecloth or strainer cloth from getting in the middle of the cheese, so when we take it off, it doesn't all fall apart from the cracks in the middle. Because we're going to take it out here a couple times to dress it and put it back in. So I'm just putting the ricotta in there, pushing it down. Put the weight on here for about an hour or so, and then take it out of the colander and just make sure the cheesecloth is not tucked in there too tight. It'll be really delicate at that point. So then we'll wrap it up again, put a little salt on it, and wrap it up and stick it back in there, flip it over so that the top is down, and then we'll put some more weight on it, and we'll just increase the weight. And it can press for a day or two. I'm going to probably bring this up to 30 pounds. That seemed to work pretty good with the last one. So after a couple days or a day of pressing, I'll take it out of the press and salt it and let it dry out for a bit, and then I'll vacuum seal it and stick it in the fridge for a week, and it should be good to go. You could eat it now if you wanted to, or whatever, because it's ready to go. But I'm trying to make it into a nice little block of cheese. So, anyways, that's how I did the last one. So it's been about an hour. We're going to take it out and make sure that everything looks okay. It'll be pretty fragile right now, so we're going to handle it really carefully, and we'll salt it and rewrap it and put it back in the press. Very fragile. So we just want to make sure there aren't any folds trapped in the cheese. Careful with it at this point. I need one more hand. I'm going to put 2 more weights on it, 30 pounds. Yeah, I'll repeat the process a couple of times, just see how the cheese is coming together, make sure that it's consolidating in there, and yeah, I can press it for a couple of days or add more weight or whatever, however firm you think you want it. So